Hi, it's Bumble. Welcome back to my channel. So, recording this off my phone right now, but it should be fine. The house is like dead quiet, but I might get interrupted at some point if my folks come back and start making noise. I just got too excited. This movie was really good. I literally just finished it. This is my first time seeing Rocky, and I was like, okay, I feel really excited. I feel like the ending gets you like pumped up, especially the music. The soundtrack was great, but I was like, okay, I want to just start recording as soon as I could, so I'm just going off my phone. So this is one of those like really well-known movies, and now that I've seen it, I totally get why it's that way. But I'm also surprised there's like four or five sequels to this movie. I don't know if I'm gonna watch all of them. Um, Maybe I'll watch at least like the second or third. I don't know. I don't know if they're all good. I'll have to like do some research. Might talk to my dad about it because I know he's at least seen like the first Rocky movie. I don't know in the others, but the fact they made it like a whole series, I'm like, okay, maybe I should check it out. But at the same time, it's like when you have like the first of a movie in a series and it's like really, really good, it makes me wonder. And then I see there's usually like a bunch of sequels. I'm like, are the other ones gonna be good too? But I don't know, because I mean, it has this thing where it's like the sequels seem like they're coming out like every couple of years, so maybe it's fine. But like, I like the main character enough and like his world and the people he knows and stuff that like I do kind of want to see more of it. I don't know when I'll get around to watching the sequels though. I have like a couple of other movies and movies I'm like going through with friends. I mean, I watched this by myself, which I'm glad I did, and then I'll be going out of town and watching a bunch of other stuff. So if I watch the sequels, it might be in a while, like on my end, recording wise. But yeah, I finally got around to seeing this. I should have seen this like a long time ago. I knew it was one of those like really well known movies. I always planned to see it eventually, and then I was on Netflix. I originally wanted to watch today. Butch Cassidy and the Sunshine. What is it called? The Sundance Kid. Yeah, I like just added it to my list on Tubi, and then literally today, like the next day, it was gone because it's the first of a month when I'm recording right now. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? I just was planning to watch this today." Um, but yeah, then I went on Netflix and I saw that Rocky was on my list, and I'm like, okay, let me just sit down and watch this. But yeah, it was really nice to watch by myself. I feel like I like got to soak it all in that way. I was like really like invested in the movie too. Like sometimes if a movie gets like a little boring, I'll be honest, okay, or if it like gets a little slow, I might like I don't know, check messages in my phone or I'll like go into more detail on my notes and stuff, but I mean, I had my phone with me to take notes obviously, but I got like really into it. I think because it, it was kind of different than what I expected, to be honest. Like I knew it was a movie about like a boxer and he's the underdog, and I know there's that like whole, I knew like some of the songs, and I knew there's like the scene with the stairs, which was really nice to see that scene, within the context of the movie, the Rocky stairs. But it feels so like very human, if that makes sense. Not just like Rocky as a character, but just like the vibe of the movie. There's like a lot of scenes where he's like just walking around in Philadelphia, and a lot of those shots, it's like the camera is like really, really far away. It makes it sometimes, especially those scenes at night, kind of a little moody. I wasn't expecting that, but it was really nice, especially paired with a lot of the music. There was like way more jazz in this, like instrumental jazz and like piano and stuff than I was expecting. But it was really cool. It like matched the vibe and everything. And then there's like a couple of other songs. Um, I saw with the subtitles. I don't know the names of all the songs. There's one. I think it's called Gonna Fly. I think that's what the subtitle said. And that one goes like so hard, honestly. It feels very heroic. It's like one of the only songs I already knew, but it goes over like during Rocky's big like training montage and then ends with the iconic stairs scene. Like that was really cool. And then the music at the end, he's doing his final fight with Apollo, which I thought that fight was gonna last longer. It was actually pretty short, but I think it was worth it because it's like the big fight at the end of the movie. But for it being a boxing movie, I thought there was gonna be more boxing. Like you definitely get to see Rocky train and such. I kept thinking he was going to have like a professional trainer and stuff because you know he's gonna go fight this guy who's like the champion of boxing and everything. Actually, I was reading some stuff for the sequels, and then he eventually does get like a trainer, but in this one, he's doing his training like I want to say on his own. Like, there's not really anyone teaching him. It's more so like there's people that are helping him. Like, there's this old guy. I don't remember what his name is, and he owns like the boxing place that Rocky like goes to train at, and the guy, you know, knowing that Rocky has this big match, decides to like help him out and like give him pointers and stuff. There's a nice scene with the two of them actually that I liked, where he like goes to Rocky's house and tries to give him some advice, and Rocky gets mad at him, and then the next shot is like it's just showing outside of Rocky's house, and the guy is walking away, and Rocky decides to, you know, go after him and pats him on the back, and they talk, but like you can't hear what they're saying. I thought that was pretty nice. I think honestly, like my favorite parts of the movie were like just Rocky and him interacting with the people in his life, especially his developing romance with Adrian. Honestly, I thought that was really nice. She's like someone that's very shy, works at this pet store. He visits her every day, and she doesn't really seem like interested or like talking to him much or anything. It's mostly him doing the talking. But he's like a nice. I'll talk about the romance thing in a minute. I was gonna say he's like a nice guy and stuff. Like he definitely has like a bit of a temper. But like deep down, he seems like he's a nice guy. I love whenever he interacts with animals. Like the first time you see his apartment, he's like talking to these fish that he has and stuff. I think one of them's named like Moby Dick, or whenever he talks to Adrian, it's more like him talking at her than the two of them talking at first, because she's like really shy, but he always goes to like talk to her and stuff. And she just, what am I trying to say? She's kind of a little, almost like, no, not even like frumpy or anything. She just looks so like ordinary. I don't know how to describe it, and I really like that, honestly. Like movies where people just look like, you know, anyone you'd see on the street. I always think that's nice, especially for like love interest characters as well. She's just like this shy woman that works at a pet store. And I mean, there is like a scene where Rocky does take her glasses and stuff. I think she does end up like getting them back though. I'm trying to remember, and like they go on a date together where they go to an ice skating rink. I thought that was kind of funny because like Rocky pays for just Adrian to be able to skate, not for himself. But she isn't really like skating around the rink. It's like she's like skating only a little bit, and Rocky's just like walking next to her and talking, like the same thing they kind of just do at the pet store. And I'm thinking like, why did you? I mean, I get it's like a date, so it's like you go somewhere nice, but she doesn't even really get to like skate or say anything much on their date, though she is like interested in their conversation. And then they only have like 10 minutes, and then they have to leave, and I'm thinking like, you're basically walking. You can like walk anywhere, you know. And then Adrian has a brother. I think his name's Polly. He owns like a meat shop. He definitely has some anger issues and stuff. Um, he's like seems like he's like sort of friends with Rocky, but he's like always talking shit about his sister, um, and like calling her a loser. And there's like a scene where he gets a baseball bat and starts like destroying his own stuff. And then that's the point when like Adrian finally like stands up to him and says, "Hey, I'm not a loser. I don't owe you anything. I'm the one always like taking care of you." And I was thinking like, good for you, dude. And then she ends up moving in with Rocky. But I like that like the closer Rocky and Adrian become, the more she kind of like is a bit less shy and opens up a bit. Like they on their first date, she goes over to Rocky's place and they end up kissing, and the kiss scene is like kind of awkward, but it feels realistic. They don't have like a big movie kiss or anything. It's like Rocky kisses Adrian, she kind of decides to kiss him back, and then they both kind of end up on the floor. Not like a sex scene or anything, or at least I don't think so. It just kind of looks, you know, very natural, and then after that point, it's like she's kind of talking to him a bit more, and then it ends up being really sweet at the end where he doesn't end up winning the match, which I kind of expected, but the match goes on, the like final boxing match, for like 15 rounds, which seems like quite a while, and like Rocky even ends up breaking Apollo's ribs and stuff, so he like handles himself pretty well. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to win. It would have been cool, but then it still feels like a nice ending anyway, because and I think it's something. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a text from my dad. 1 second. Oh, okay. I guess I have all the time in the world to record this. Then I get time for another movie. Sweet, sweet. I was worried I was gonna get like interrupted or something. I have like an hour and a half now. But yeah. Rocky, he's like shouting for Adrian. I've like seen my dad do that once, and I didn't know he was like referencing Rocky because I didn't know who Adrian was in the movie. But Rocky's like shouting for her. He's like, "Adrian," and she's running towards him, and she shouts at him once she like gets to where he's standing, and he's in front of like all these cameras and stuff, and she says that she loves him. That was really sweet, honestly. Let me see what else. And then the entrances for I'm kind of like jumping around a bit, I know. The entrances for like the final match and stuff, where Rocky kind of like walks in, and you know, there's all these people on the sidelines that are like, you know, they're like rooting for the underdog and stuff, and then Apollo comes in on a freaking boat, and he's dressed like George Washington, and then Uncle Sam, because it's kind of like a celebrating America's birthday kind of fight thing. I don't know. I'm assuming it's like a year anniversary thing, because it doesn't take place in 4th of July. The movie's actually like a couple of months, which is pretty neat. I think by the time he goes on his first date with Adrian, it's like Thanksgiving, and then when she ends up moving in with Rocky, it's around like Christmas, and then during the fight, one of the characters says like, "Hey, Happy New Year" to the audience. So it's like a couple of months. I do actually kind of like that progression. You like get to see Rocky's progress throughout the movie. Like the first time he goes up the iconic Rocky stairs. It's kind of funny now that I think about it. Like the only two movies where I'm like, yeah, there's like a well-known pair of stairs is Rocky and then the stairs from the Joker, and that's it. I don't know if there's like more movie stairs. Probably. But like the first time he goes up the stairs, he's like kind of out of breath and tired. And then the next time he goes up the stairs, which is like the final time, and it's at the end of his big like training montage to show like, you know, look how far he's come. And he goes up them like really easy, and it's after he had been like jogging and doing a bunch of other things. And you know, he does the pose where he like lifts his hands over his head and stuff, which just looks so cool. And that's when the music gets like especially really loud. It's just like such a hype moment, honestly. But like I said, it's so nice to see because like I sort of knew about it, but like to see it within the context of the film and watching Rocky's growth, and you're like, yeah, he's like totally ready for that fight and everything. It just really makes you as like the viewer watching it like want to root for him and stuff. Like I actually got like I don't really watch like sports movies or anything, um, but like this one actually like got me really hyped at the end, and you're like rooting for him to win and stuff. Okay, let me see. I actually wasn't really looking at my notes too much for once. I was kind of just like using them as a reference than anything. Let me see if there's anything that I missed. Oh, the dog. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if the dog is going to be in the sequels. Yeah, I mentioned Adrian works at a pet store, and it's when Rocky kind of is just like taking his training more seriously, and Adrian gives him a dog, and it's like the most excited moment in the whole movie to Rocky. It seems like he gets so excited around this dog that he takes with him on like his runs and stuff. I thought that was really cute. That was also like a nice thing from her. Yeah, that's pretty much all my notes actually. I'm definitely gonna look up the soundtrack. I was already kind of looking it up on Spotify. I wanted to find this song. There's like a song that only plays for like a couple of minutes when Adrian and Rocky they go on a date for the first time, and it's like right before they end up getting to like the ice skating rink. And it just sounded really nice, but like I have no idea what it's called. Sometimes when you like look on soundtracks on YouTube, it's like the songs that are specifically like for the movie, but sometimes it doesn't have all of them, or if there's like other like songs that are not from the movie that are in. But yeah, the amount of jazz surprised me, but I feel like it definitely fit the vibe. I liked that there was like so many scenes, just showing around like Philadelphia. But yeah, since I have like an hour and a half, I'm kind of mentally debating right now if I want to just go like watch Rocky 2. I feel like I have to like look up to see if it's like worth it. Not that I entirely let that judge if I watch a movie, but if it's good, it's like I might as well just go watch it, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, yeah, that's pretty much my review. But yeah, good movie. I recommend it. I get why it's a classic. Wish that I saw it sooner. See you next time. Bye bye.